Welcome to Believers Lifestyle, where lifestyles are watched and believers are born. I'm Pastor Jay, your host, and today we have an amazing segment, Sisters to Sisters, just speaking their minds, releasing their hearts about some areas in our lives that we would like to share with you. So today I would like you to help me honor my wonderful guest, Elder Lamel. Hi, I'm so honored that you came on to be with us on today.
Happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you. So today we're having sister to sister talk. And so today, just tell me a little bit about yourself and share a little bit of your testimony with us.
Well, basically, I was born and reared in Ville Platte, Louisiana. Moved to Baton Rouge when I got married and went to school. Stayed there, followed my husband after we got married, and the Lord called me into ministry probably in the early 80s. And just been working with the Lord ever since. God has been good. He has graced me. He has healed me.
Amen.
From disease, and the Lord has really been an awesome God to me. And I have learned to walk with Him.
Yes.
And walk with Him not just like that, but by faith and believing what He has said.
So being an elder, you know, I was talking to you earlier about being an elder. Being an elder to me, it has such grace upon the, you know, of being an elder, just saying the word of what we would call titles. But being an elder has such a poise and grace upon your life. And so being in this season, in this transformation of how we've seen, you know, different presidents, we were able to see Barack Obama become president, now President Donald Trump, and just being in this season of life and transpiring, what have been the greatest transition or change that you have seen the nation go through?
Well, the transition that I've seen the most is that God is revealing to us things that have been hidden for a long time.
Yes.
We talk about them, but they have been hidden under the covers for a long time.
Yes.
And with this new generation, of this new administration, rather,
Yes.
those things have been strategically uncovered. And as I have been praying to the Lord about it, He said, I'm uncovering them strategically so that you can target what I am revealing.
Yes.
And I think that's where we as Christians have missed God. We don't miss Him as far as praying, but we miss Him as far as targeting what He is revealing to us by the Spirit.
Well, what happens in us missing the targeted direction that He would strategically give us is because of the lack of communication, the lack of relationship, and the lack of intimacy. We want to add water, put a stir in and stir it, and we instantaneously become or we evolve. But it takes a time. You know, I love saying Elder Lamel because Elder Lamel means you spent your time. You've done your studies. You've been in a relationship for a long time. You said He's been your healer. He's been your provider.
Yes.
So that let me know you have relationship. And so with those things being uncovered and revealed, that God has allowed to pull the covers back now. You know, one of the things with gun violence, African American has always been killed by some, you know, body with a gun, unserved, but it's been covered up, like you said. But now we're in this transition of life in the nation that now is something that has been going over 100 years ago. Now it's like the first time happening.
Yes.
You know, but that comes with, and we're just talking right now about the strategic point as Christians. So the Christians are missing the view, the targeting point, because they have gotten in the new gender of speaking and claiming and saying and getting, naming and claiming. Hey, what I say is what I, you know, we've gotten to that because of the new generation is saying. And so, and then they're watering down holiness.
Yes.
They're watering down relationship.
Right.
And so, yeah, we'll pray, but we won't stay still enough to listen.
No righteousness.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And so with that being said, what is some of the things that, you know, as being an elder, as being a leader, that you would pour into the hearts of the people that's listening and said, these are some of the strategic things you need to listen for and begin to implement?
I think first of all, I need people to listen to what God is saying. That comes through a relationship with God. Many times we pray, but we don't get still to hear. And so we don't have a dialogue.
Yes.
We just have a conversation. You see?
Yes.
But we need to hear what he is saying. And that will only come through us being quiet
Yes.
and hearing the answers that we're asking for. We're asking for a lot of things, but we're not listening to the answers.
Wow. Yeah.
So when you feel like, well, nothing is happening, it's not happening because you're not listening for an answer. You're too busy giving your menu.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
listen to the answer of how he wants you to deal with it. And God will never give you things when there is no relationship. Because if you don't have an understanding of what something is, you will never do it right. You will always abuse it.
Yes. That's one of the main issues that we see throughout the transition of, the millenniums, as they would call. They have no honor, they have no respect, they have no gratefulness. There's no, and not all, don't get me wrong, not all, but there is a great disrespect or honor for those that have traded the way before, that has paved the way. Yes. And so I show up on a scene and things happen. And and not that God can't do instantaneous miracles, but there is a place and a grace in God that he said, give honor to who honor is due. And so I watched a lot of millennials, being a pastor and being a street minister, watch them want to show up right where I'm at.
Doesn't work that way.
Right where you are.
That's right.
When they're, and not that everybody have to have these stories, because nobody really have to go through it. All they have to do is be obedient and God will bless their lives. But you want to show up already with the answer, and you haven't learned what it takes to get the answer. You haven't sought out the answer. You haven't dug enough. You haven't experienced the ditch, the dungeon, the valley experience to tell me what a mountaintop feel like. So I watch, that's correct, the relationship. They're yet given their menu, but they're not waiting, for him to serve them, and they're not yet waiting to hear what his response is. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So in this era of your life, as a sister, as a mother, are you a grandmother yet?
Yes.
As a sister, as a mother, a grandmother, when we come back, I want you to show and tell and share with us how important it is to live out a balanced life.
Oh, God.
Live out a balanced life. You're watching Believer's Lifestyle, where believers are watched and lifestyles are born, with Pastor Jay.
Hello everyone, Pastor Heather Ordway here, inviting you to join us for Believer's Lifestyle starting July 8th, every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Listen, you cannot miss this opportunity to join in with other believers, find out how we're living life. We're doing this thing together. It's kingdom business. I look forward to seeing you there.
My name's Courtney Smith-Donnelly. I'm going to be teaching biology and science this fall. I'll also be your new cross-country coach this season.
Dad, she's right out of college, never coached before, and she doesn't know what she's doing.
We've got one goal this year. That's when the state meet.
They say you deliberately had the girls run really slow in the race. Now, why would you do that?
Because that's the only way that they're going to get faster.
Shelby, go out with me this weekend.
My dad won't let me date yet.
He doesn't have to know.
Hey, did you hear about Savannah? She started smoking weed this summer. A lot of girls smoke. The Bible doesn't say you can't. The other girls all have families and I don't. My parents divorced and I don't get to see my dad. I don't want to feel this way, but Anna is better than me at everything. I just did what she said. Give me a break.
Where are the other girls?
They quit.
I don't know about this woman.
Neil Sims has already talked to the principal and the board.
You guys are gonna get killed next week.
I'm asking you to trust me and remember the goal.
Hey, you gotta get going! You're gonna lose!
Make a fist like this. We're a team. Nobody on this team quits. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. Whether you eat or drink or run, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Okay, that's going to take the focus off self. It's going to put on the one it's supposed to be on, and that's the Lord. What do you guys say, 1031?
1031!
Welcome back to Believer's Lifestyle. I'm Pastor Jay, your host for the day, and my guest is Elder Lamel, and we're sitting here talking, just sisters talk, sister to sister. So we're going to go into, I have a question. As being an elder and a woman, just a woman, not a woman of God, just a woman, a mother and a wife, how important it is to keep a balanced life and juggling so many hats and juggling so many situations in life, how important it is as a woman to keep a balanced life.
I always tell women, remember why you were created.
Come on now.
You were created as a solution to a problem.
Yes.
The problem was, man should not be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. So when God gives you a husband, you need to stay balanced with that as a wife. And remember, this is your primary calling at this point, is that of wife and helpmeet. When children come, then you become another thing. You become a mother. The order never changes. Wife, mother, grandmother never changes. What I feel we make our mistake in, and where we lose balance, is because we don't know that those are the orders that God set forward. For those women who are not married, learn how to be a wife in the pew. Develop a relationship with God. And people say, well, how can I do that? How can I be a wife in the pew? Well, he says in his word, he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes.
So you have to be a wife to God before you can ever be a wife to man.
Okay.
So when you become a wife to God, when you learn how to take care of his children, take care of his house, build his children, feed his children, clothe his children, then when you begin to smell like a wife, he will put you in the position to find the husband finds you, because you smell like a wife.
So you're saying already be actually in operation as a wife.
Absolutely.
Unto God.
Unto God.
Unto God. So that means I'm not positioning myself to be picked, to be chosen,
No.
to be snatched.
No.
I am just positioning myself that God finds me in well doing. I'm well pleasing.
Yes.
So by me being well pleasing and actually working as his wife
Exactly.
to his church,
That's correct.
then he's going to position me to
be
become
a
a
wife
wife.
to wife to his
Okay,
son.
all right. So tell me, so now we're talking about just being a wife, but how do you balance yourself? Now, I have a busy schedule. You know, I have a career. And so you said the order is the wife, the mother, and grandmother. So what if we have we rejuggle these things and we have switched the order? What happens in that?
When you switch the order, I don't think the order changes so much when we have a career so much. We okay with that, pretty much. The order switches, I believe, when women are called into the ministry. Then they switch the order.
Okay, so tell me.
They switch the order because they feel at this point now, I have to do this in the name of God. God never changed the order. And what I tell people with that is that you need to remember that in natural, as a child with your parents, you must do what you're supposed to do as a child. You must go to school, you must learn, you must do this, make good grades, blah, blah, blah. Then I will let you do extracurricular activities.
That's correct.
If you don't do that same thing when it comes to God's order, why would God give you something else to do?
Wow.
You see, and then you're saying that God called me to the ministry. Yes, as an extracurricular activity.
Come on.
You see, not because it changes the order.
Okay, so what you're saying to me right now is that, okay, God called you into the ministry, but if this is not taken care of, I'm out of order.
You're out of order.
Because God is a God of order.
Correct.
But so if I'm taking care of my job as a mother, a job as a job as a wife, a job as a mother, and if I'm a grandmother or if I have a career, because career come next,
That's correct.
then God can say, now I can trust you in my
With something
kingdom.
else.
I can trust you with this
That's
because
correct.
you found to be faithful over what I created you for.
What I created.
Come
you
on now. Amen.
And that's what we miss. And we do all this out of orderness in the name of God. And God is saying, I didn't tell you that.
I tell you, Elder Lamel, I tell you, I am so honored by the conversation. I am a pastor. I pastor a church in God Chases Generation Outreach Ministry, and my husband is not in the ministry. My husband's a full-time worker. But when I come home, I don't separate the two. I'm still a pastor, but I'm now my husband's wife as a pastor. And so I still could, and not that I'm the servant.
That's right.
I do whatever I do on purpose.
That's correct.
Because I got
what you say on
purpose. And my purpose is to please my earthly king.
There you go.
My purpose is to make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed.
That's correct.
And so even though I am pastor, I'm Daryl Nico's wife.
That's what you were created.
That's what I was created for. And he allowed me to have an extracurriculum activity.
Extracurricular.
Come on now. Yes.
And that's why I tell women, when your home is out of order, you don't need to be out telling anybody what to do.
Yes.
Stop that extracurricular activity, just like your natural parents do. When you get that out of order in the natural, your parents say you can't play ball anymore.
That's right.
Until you get this right. That's exactly what God do. I don't want you out there anymore until you get this right.
Yes. Yes, that's beautiful. And you know what? If we would just take some of the natural orders and implement them just in our life, because we're gonna have people watching that's not saved,
That's
but
correct.
they have careers and they have husbands and children, and they finding the balance off. They finding their scales are tipped. And so we're speaking to them, saying to them on today, if you find this natural balance, just identifying what God created you for, then you'll find your scales balancing off. And so that's a beautiful thing. Then you'll get to do the extracurriculum activity.
That's
You'll
beautiful.
get to be able to say, now Daddy, was I okay?
Hey.
Did I do
Yes.
good with my children, my husband? Was I building my house as a wise wife? I didn't tear it down. So can you trust me? Can I go feed the hungry? Can I go clothe the ones that's clothless? Can I go speak to young ladies and tell them how to become a virtuous woman? Hey, my God, today, can I do this? Because I'm asking permission.
And he said, if you can't handle the small things, I'll never give you the big
That's
things. to do.
exactly right.
So God is very much a God of honor.
Yes, he is.
And many times we say and we do things in the name of God, and God said, I never said that.
Yes.
I don't know that.
And Elder Lamel, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I know we didn't talk about it, but I'm throwing this out there. Wouldn't it be safe to say we see the high rates in divorces because their lives are out of order?
Out of order.
Out of order. Wow.
Out of order.
So listen, guys, when we come back, I know you are enjoying it. I'm enjoying myself with Elder Lamel, but we'll be coming right back with you. Do not touch that dial. You're watching Believers Lifestyle, where believers are watched and lifestyles are born, with Pastor Jay.
Daja. Be sure to check out my new single entitled Way Out. And also, please join us on Believers Lifestyle in July.
Everyone, Pastor Heather Ordway here, inviting you to join us for Believers Lifestyle starting July 8th, every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Listen, you cannot miss this opportunity to join in with other believers, find out how we're living life. We're doing this thing together. It's kingdom business. I look forward to seeing you there.
Welcome back. You're watching Believers Lifestyle with Pastor Jay and my beautiful guest, Elder Lamel. And before we went to break, we were talking about this divine order. And so we were saying that, okay, we, Daddy God said your life is in order now. So you're a good wife, you're a good mother, you're a good friend or sister or grandmother. Now I'm going to call you into the ministry, which is the extracurriculum. Now, because I can trust you with this. And so with trusting them with this, you're saying, if your grades are not good, if you're not on the AB honor roll, at least a C, then I didn't call you into anything. Flesh had a desire to be on the platform that wanted to appease its appetite. See me, I want to be seen. Yes. See me, I want to do. So come on, expound a little bit about that when you see ministries just falling by the wayside and it's tilting because of not being in order.
Not being in order. And it's not necessarily, the Bible says, a man who's double-minded is double-minded in everything, in all his ways.
In all his ways.
In all his ways. So if your house is out of order, eventually it's going to show up in the ministry.
Wow.
See, because the Spirit is non-discriminate. It has no respective person. So if your house is out of order, before too long, you're going to get out of order in the church.
Wow.
You see, and we need to understand that the man, as it relates to the marriage, the man is God's glory. The wife is the man's glory.
Yes.
The children are the glory to the parents. Many times when you get divorced, it's because something has gotten out of order.
Yes.
Either the wife has taken the place of the husband, and now she's running it, or they've put the children before the wife or the husband. Now they're running it. So all of the glory can't get to God because the glory is going all which way?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
So the glory is off balance.
It's off
It's
balance,
off balance.
and God is getting no glory at all.
He's not getting no glory at all.
So that's when you see things are out of order.
Okay, so look, this is the Big Bang Theory.
Yes, let's go.
Come on.
Okay.
Now, with being an elder, being a female, sisters to sisters, and with the social media and all the news and all the rigmarole about the alleged rapes, the alleged misappropriation with the supervisors and the young ladies, what is your take? What is your take? What would you just say about the alleged stuff that's been, and what I'm focusing in on, the one that said 23 years ago he touched me, 15 years ago he gave me something, 5 years ago this happened. How are we feeding this enemy of perversion in our nation with this type of behavior?
First, we have to figure out what was the root cause.
Okay.
Many times, people of affluence feel privileged. So now we got to figure out, why was this male who is affluent feel that he has the privilege of doing this to this person? That's one. Two is you got to figure out, was the wrong signals sent by either person
Okay.
or both persons? But more important than that is fear. See, so when fear dictates your response to a situation, then your integrity becomes challenged.
Yes.
Your character becomes challenged. So now you 20 years later, you are expressing what happened to you 20 years ago. Why? Because now the fear has been removed. You see?
Yes.
When the fear is there, it will challenge everything about you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
People say, well, how is that scriptural? Okay, well, on the boat, Jesus said, let's go to the other side. Okay? That should have been the end of that song. Because when the storms, but when the storms of life came and challenged them,
Yes.
then fear came. And when fear came, integrity changed. Then
Yes.
they start questioning Jesus. Then they start questioning, does he care?
Yes.
None of that changed. But when fear comes and takes control, then everything else is out of order.
I am so glad that I was able to share this time with you, and that was so powerful. So I'm telling you on today, as two sisters to sisters just talking, first of all, if you want to be successful, you have to have a balanced life. And not only for the ladies, but for gentlemen as well. God say, love your wife as Christ has loved the church. So you got to make sure your love is intact. Your love is in order.
Yes.
And we got to take fear and replace it with faith. We need to take our faith up another notch. The Bible teaches us, he takes us from faith to faith and glory to glory. So while we're sitting here, we're thinking that maybe, they're getting paid off, or, we all have all these opinions of what's going on in their mind. Just for 1 second and 1 moment, can we sit here and think about the question of fear? What would happen to me if I said someone influential did something to me? What would happen to my family? What would happen to my future? But now that times have changed, society has changed, the nation has changed, and women have power now.
Yes.
So now they have taken fear out of the equation, and now their voice it's been spoken to the mountaintops. It's going from the Senate to the valley lows. And so now we have to make sure that we're walking in integrity and character. No fear, all faith. And most of all, we're living out a balanced life. Until next time, I'm Pastor J with Believer's Lifestyle, where believers are watched and lifestyles are born.
Amen.
Almighty God, we need you right now. Reveal your glory and pour your spirit out. Almighty God, we need you right now. you in our lives. Reveal your glory. And pour your spirit. And pour your spirit out. Oh, oh, oh Lord, we need you. Oh, yes, we do, Jesus. Oh Lord, we want more of you. And pour your spirit. Oh, 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 almighty God, we need you. God, we want your presence in our lives. And pour your spirit. Have your way in our lives. Almighty God, we need you right now. We need you, Lord. And pour your spirit. Oh, Almighty God, we need you. Father, we want more of you. And pour your spirit. Have your way in our lives. We're calling on you, Jesus. More of you, more of you, more of you. And pour your spirit. Yeah, Almighty God. We need you, Jesus. God, why don't you send your glory down? We want to see it all. We give you full access to us, Lord.